Joao was a language learning creator. He taught non-native speakers how to speak fluent English, and he had about 40,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel, aiming for his first 100,000 subscribers. But the thing is, he was making just $100 or $200 on AdSense. He tried to start a paid product, he tried to start a school community, but was afraid that nobody would want to join it in the first place. He was tired because he was just making repeatable content about how to learn English. It got views, but it didn't make any money. And at one point, he was so burned out that he stopped posting for 3 months and his channel basically flatlined. And then I messaged him. Actually, it wasn't my first time, because we were pretty much in the same niche. I was also creating content about language learning, and I had some decent success with it. I made my first $2,000 with just 5,000 subscribers, and then we joined forces. And that's when things got to another level. So we started building our first offer, community, hours of free courses, a new Instagram page, plus new and improved YouTube videos for his YouTube channel. And then we made $6,000 in just 30 days of us launching the community. And so in total, we made $11,000 in about 90 days. And as a result of that, we helped lots of English learners speak English with fluency and confidence, and got entire interviews with them speaking English, not just writing about their fluency. And that allowed Joao to do this full time. He was no longer a guy who just made YouTube videos, He was a coach that provided real value and real results to people. So in this video, I'm going to share an entire breakdown of how you can turn your language learning YouTube or Instagram channel into a real business that brings you full-time income. The first step is to realize that it's not your content's fault. Before we started working together, Joao did not make any posts on his YouTube channel for 3 months. And we still made our first $6,000 in 30 days. So as you can see, 7 months ago, 10 months ago. The secret is in realizing the potential that you have right now. Because you can easily pull a big launch that is 5 to 30 times more than what you are making right now. And this is literally what I did with my own and Joao's channel. And so the secret is in the launch. I swear, most language learning creators, they're not doing the actual launch. Like, they don't have a sequence that they go through in order to launch their community or their paid product. And as a result of that, they don't make any money. So they just create a school community or WOP funnel or, for God's sake, Discord channel, or some other stuff, and do like a call to action. Join my community to practice Spanish or English with me, or join my one-to-one coaching. And then, they lock it behind like $37 per month and then expect people to join it. And they get like 1 to 3 sales. I've been there myself. I get it, because as you can see, this is my community with 13 members, and I got like 3 people at $27 a month. I remember, it wasn't good because they churned after 1 month and I pretty much wasn't making any money. So I had the potential to mobilize my current audience and turn most of them into paid clients. But I decided to take the route of, not making any money. I didn't want to do the work because I didn't know how to do the work. I would be willing to put in the work and actually do the proper launch, but I just didn't know how to do it. And so I took the shortcut of not making money. I just decided to, create a school community, slap $27 per month on it, and just expect people to join. And so the right path was to do the launch sequence instead of just spraying and praying with content. So this is the simplified version. First of all, you deliver free value with educational content. So you put together content that people can go through in a sequence to achieve the desired outcome in a certain period of time. For example, become fluent in English in 90 days, right? Of course, it depends on the level of your students, because if they are at level 0, of course, it's not going to take them 90 days. It's going to take them maybe 1 year, right? But if they're already somewhat fluent and they understand English, then, the time frame is shorter. And in our case, it was 90 days because we were targeting people who already could understand English. The goal with these videos is to teach them your specific method step by step. Like, you are not just making videos where you are teaching some random stuff there. You are teaching your specific method step by step, from step 1 to step 26, I don't know, so that they can literally become fluent using this method for free. Because if you're just making a video and if you want to lock 20 steps behind a paywall and say that, today I revealed 26 steps and then I'm gonna reveal the other steps in my course inside of my community, it's not going to work because right now in 2026, people aren't really paying for more information. I mean, of course, they still pay for more information, but right now, information is way less valuable than it was before. Because right now, it's way easier to access that information. If you just lock this system behind closed doors or behind a paywall, some people might buy it, but still, it's gonna hurt trust with a lot of people that you probably could have built. And what they're going to do is they're just going to watch someone else who revealed the full system for free. Because right now you can literally learn English or learn Spanish or any other language without even buying a coach or a teacher, right? And that's the problem in a sense. Of course, it's great that there's a lot of free stuff online. And of course, it's great that we can learn everything pretty much for free. But we still somehow need to make money. People still do pay for information, but specifically they pay for the implementation of that information and practice. In your case, you are a language learning creator, and what people pay for in language learning is practice. So the main thing they're paying for is practice, accountability, and feedback. And if you are expecting them to pay for information that they can get for free, chances are they're not going to do that. But if you're trying to sell them accountability, feedback, coaching, speaking practice, they are way more willing to pay for that because that is way more valuable than just pure information. So you literally reveal all of that information for free. You give it all away for free. You record like 1, 2, 3 hour videos where you are explaining how they can become fluent in a certain period of time so that people connect with you. They actually want to work with you because you just revealed your whole method. And so they're way more likely to buy from you because they believe that this method works. And when they just saw the whole method and they see all the action steps, it makes them convicted in your method even more. So you're not just giving away stuff for free and you're not just being generous. You're also being smart because this way you're literally selling them on the method that you're teaching people with. And people who resonate with your method, they watch your videos until the end, and then guess what they do? They book a call with you, they join your paid community, and they become your clients. Second step would be to actually destroy their limiting beliefs. Because if you simply teach them your method and you teach them the steps that they need to take, that's great. People will follow them, but a lot of people, and I would even argue like 100% of people or 99% of people, they will still struggle because they will think that something is probably wrong with your method, or they will expect you to actually show them some of the results that other people got with your unique method, because people have a lot of limiting beliefs surrounding your method. They just found you on YouTube. They think you are a total stranger. Maybe when you go on sales calls with them, you believe that, oh, we have such a good rapport, but they just watched 1 or 2 hours of content from you, so they don't trust you that much. You're still a stranger to them. And breaking their limiting beliefs is extremely important because they can get this method elsewhere on a different YouTube channel. And if you're not breaking their limiting beliefs on your YouTube channel, and if you're not making your method unique and specific to your ideal avatar, then it's not going to work. Of course, another thing is to figure out who you're trying to sell, but we'll get to that in a second, okay? First, we need to establish how we create that kind of content and how we deliver value for people and how we can actually create a proper launch. So you break their limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs could be, oh, well, I'm not sure if I will be able to follow this approach because it's pretty difficult. I'm not sure if this is easy for me. I'm not sure if it works for me. I'm not sure if this method actually works. And you break these limiting beliefs with proof, with your story, with results of other people. For example, proof could be the result that you got or some kind of certificate that you have. Another way you can prove is by telling your story, how you became fluent by following the exact same method. Then by telling stories of other people, by showing testimonials, case studies, how you helped other people, how you helped other clients become fluent using this specific method. And guess what? This way you will break their limiting beliefs. The most powerful way to do that is through stories. Instead of just simply showing testimonials and case studies in their face, you need to tell that in the form of a story. You need to tell a story about your students or about yourself and how you followed the exact same approach to become fluent. And this way you break their limiting beliefs. So then the next step is to make them believe that your method works. Okay. Again, you do that through stories. You do that through examples, metaphors. You do that through proof, and you do that through testimonials and case studies. The more, the better. You show that inside your videos, you deliver free value, and then you build anticipation. So the thing is, you're not trying to close them, and you're not trying to, in a way, you're not trying to sell them. What you are doing in these videos is you're just delivering free value, you're building trust, and you are, well, in a way, you are selling them. And that's why I put this ratio here. 99% of the time, you're not trying to sell them explicitly, right? That's the thing. You're not trying to sell them explicitly, if we put this word here. What you are doing is you are building anticipation, and you're building anticipation for what's coming next, right? For every single step that's coming next, and you reveal them like 26 steps, and then you just go in order, and people are like, oh, what's the next step? What's the next step? And so they just want to watch the whole thing, and then at the end, that's when they have the most anticipation, that's when they have the most dopamine, and that's when you create the call to action. That's when you put the call to action so that they schedule a call with you, or they join your free or paid community. But this whole time, what you are doing is you're building anticipation, and you are selling them, but not explicitly. You are doing that in a sneaky way. You might think that, oh, I don't want to sell something to people. Sales are bad, or trying to sell something to people. It just sounds weird. Like I'm being pushy. I'm being a salesman. I'm being a sleazy salesman. No, you are not. What you are doing this whole time is you are building trust with people, and in a way, that makes people sold, and they buy into your stuff, because when they see your entire method, they see it step by step, you uncover it for them, so they don't have any limiting beliefs surrounding that, and they are literally buying into that method, and so they believe that that method works because you backed it up by testimonials, case studies, stories, and then you also built a lot of anticipation. They're pretty much sold, and they want to buy from you from that point. And that's when you use the last 1%, and you use that 1% to close them. So they book a call with you, or they join a community, or they buy a course. And what you are doing with this is you are creating a content money tree instead of just gambling for views. Because I'm pretty sure right now what you are doing is you maybe have some kind of a community where you're teaching people how to speak a certain language, or and then the next step you do is you create a bunch of videos on YouTube trying to blow up, trying to make a lot of views, and neither of these work, I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes you get a lot of views. That's how you got to 50,000 subscribers, that's how you got to 200,000 subscribers. But the thing is, if you just expect to make these videos where you're building trust with people, and they're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours long, but you're not making viral videos, what's going to happen is your views will dry up, and eventually you will stop making sales. Because these viral videos, they give you a lot of views, and attention and views is literally the lifeblood of your business. And so if you don't have many views, and if you stop making viral videos and expect people to just like come to you by discovering you on search or something, it's not gonna happen. You need to make both. You need to make videos that blow up, that get viral, so that you make more views, you get more attention, but at the same time, you also create videos that convert people into your paid clients. You cannot just do one of these, you need to do both. And the next step for you is to create a VSL packed with value on the topic of the product you're selling. So VSL stands for Video Sales Letter. And here's an example. So Lingua Marina created a video called Improve Your English Grammar in 1 Hour, Basic English Grammar. And this is a 1 hour video where she is going in depth on how people can improve their grammar in English. And so guess what she's doing after that? Since this video is a sales letter, at the end of the video, she put a call to action to buy her handbook, which is at a 60% discount right now. So handbooks, grammar, all you need at a 60% discount, 66% discount. And this is very convenient, right? This video is about English grammar, and call to action and the link in description literally ties to a handbook that allows people to improve their grammar with a 66% discount. That's a pretty good offer, right? What she did is she created an irresistible offer in the call to action and description. In our case, it could be something like become fluent in 90 days, or I will work with you for free, or improve your grammar in 90 days, or you'll get all of your money back, or just some kind of like a handbook, or some kind of like a small low ticket thing at like $10, $20, $30 at a discount. And people are willing to buy that because this is a no-brainer offer. It's irresistible. And if you also put a time frame, or not a time frame but scarcity or urgency, and you say, limited spots available, only 2 spots available, or I showed 3, only 3 spots available, or this is available until August 1st, then people are way more likely to take action. So when you create this kind of video, you make a lot of money. And of course, the VSL should be very relevant to the offer that you are selling. Because if you just simply make a VSL about how to learn English, but then your offer is actually teaching people grammar or English grammar, it's not going to work as well as you teaching people how to speak English as a non-native speaker and become confident, and then you literally make an offer that sounds the same. And going back to the video sales letter, to make it really good, you just follow the steps here, okay? Teach them your specific method, destroy the limiting beliefs, tell stories, show your testimonials, show your credibility, make them believe that your method works. And then at the end of this video, what's different about this video is that at the end of this video, you also explain your offer, how they can join it, and you pretty much spend like 10 to 20 minutes explaining the offer and explaining why they should join right now, because there's limited spots available or there's some kind of a discount running until a certain date. And then people are way more likely to join than if you just simply created a bunch of random videos and said to people, oh guys, please join my school community. It's $37 per month. This is what's going to make you sales. Okay. Trust me. This is what's not going to make you sales, okay? Just slapping $37 per month on a community and expecting people to buy it, not going to work. But creating a VSL and also creating a sequence of videos where you are teaching people valuable stuff and going in depth in how they can become fluent in English or in any other language, in Spanish, in French, is first of all going to impact people and is actually going to help people improve their fluency. And second, is going to improve your bank account. So, and of course, the last step is to create an irresistible offer. And you're probably asking, how do I create one? How do I create an offer? So let's talk about that. $2,000 offer, 3-hour max on 1 client per week, and clients are extremely happy. The secret is not to make the offer as cheap as possible, so that as many people as possible will buy it. The secret is to target the right person and make the right offer for them. And honestly, I've tried all offers. I've tried low ticket offers. I tried a $27 per month offer. I tried a $100 per month offer. I tried a $1,000 offer. And also I tried a $2,000 offer for language learning as well. And so here are the results. So for $37 per month, students pay, and some of them, they stay for a long time, but they miss 50 to 70% of the calls and usually they don't make a huge change. They might make some progress, but usually they stop. The reason why it's $37, not $27, because I tried both. So I tried 37, 27, kind of doesn't matter. So people didn't really stick with it because we couldn't do one-to-one calls at $37 per month, because that's a lot to do one-to-one calls at $37 per month. We were doing group calls, and some people, they stuck with it and it was great for them, but for the most part they didn't achieve like a huge result, a big transformation. It was gradual improvements over time, and it would take more time for them to become fluent and to achieve results, simply because we couldn't just spend an entire day working for them. But when people are paying $2,000, we can spend way more time helping them. So this is $37 per month, then $100 per month to $250 per month. This is a bit better, but still lots of calls are missed, and eventually people churn, they slip back to their previous English level and they kind of stop making progress, basically. After a few months, of course, they achieve some results, but what happens is a lot of people are undisciplined, they're lazy, and so after the program, they stop taking action and they pretty much revert back to their level of English. So that offer worked, but it kind of did not work. Okay. But then the high ticket $1,000 to $2,000 offer. So usually this offer is 90 days long. People never churn in 90 days. Most continue paying $100 per month after that, because I give them a new offer after that point. It's kind of like a continuity offer. So they continue paying because they pay full undivided attention. They complete the action steps that you gave them, and they are extremely motivated to work. Because they just invested $2,000 for this, right? Of course they're motivated. And the coolest part is that some of them even wanted me to go to their home country to meet them. And, one of my clients even said to me, Artem, I want to pay for your trip so you come to me to Greece. And I'm like, oh, really? That's awesome. And they can become one of the best friends. I keep in touch with my clients still. And sometimes I still message them from time to time, and we're really good friends. As soon as I go to their country, I already have a friend there, which is the coolest part. And the other indirect benefit was me not slaving away like an English teacher in school. Because I was dealing with such amazing people that I just wanted to work with them. You know, they were attracting me like a magnet, and I was attracting them as well. And so we had the same kind of energy. We were just like best friends. And, I woke up feeling refreshed. I woke up feeling amazing, and I woke up feeling ready for the call, right? Instead of me feeling like, oh, today I need to do that call with that guy. I don't want to do that. Yeah, I didn't feel that way. I felt that way in the beginning when I was charging like $100 per month, but I stopped feeling that way later. So me and Joao, we have the ability now to choose who we want to work with. Because before we were like, oh, I need to get as many sales as possible. But now the goal is not to get as many sales as possible. The goal is to work with clients that we want to work with. And as a result of that, we only worked with clients that we wanted to work with. One time we onboarded a student who was a nightmare. So that was the opposite of the person we wanted to work with. And after the first week, we just said no without any hesitation and just refunded the full sum back to that person because we didn't feel like we were obliged to help that person just because they were paying us money. Because it wasn't really that enjoyable to work with that person. So we just refunded the money to them, said goodbye, and found other clients. It just takes more time to convince 100 people to pay $1 than convincing one person to pay $1,000. And that's why I would recommend you, and I wouldn't just recommend you, I would say that selling high ticket is the best, even in the language learning niche. And probably you're asking, like, how do I do that? How do people pay $2,000 for, learning a language? How do you do that? That's a fair concern. And so let me break it down for you. Because the thing is, people are not paying for a language. What people are paying for is they're paying for their future. They're paying to open new opportunities, they're paying to make more money, and they're paying to travel without barrier. Maybe they're paying for a hobby as well. But the thing is, when they're paying for a hobby, what they're really paying for is to feel good. For example, they become fluent and they get some kind of benefit. They already imagine going to Mexico and speaking Spanish with people and feeling like native speakers understand them and feeling amazing. That's the kind of feeling they should get when they read your offer or see your offer. So really, it's not about paying $2,000 for learning a language. It's paying $2,000 so that they can make $10,000 per month. It's paying $2,000 so they can go to the US or go to Mexico and speak to anyone there or conduct international business. It's about open new opportunities that make them even more money. It's about working online so they don't have to sit in a cubicle in office. And it's also just about having fun and having an amazing hobby or bragging about something, right? It could also be about pride. So really, you're just tapping into different emotions in people's minds when you are presenting your offer. The thing is, you paid for a MacBook, an iPhone, nice clothes, a car. The reason why you pay for these things is not because they're just better. Of course, they're better in a sense, right? A MacBook is better than just a normal laptop because it has different features. It has like an aluminium case, it has a better camera. But the real reason why you bought a MacBook or overpriced clothes is because you thought, people will like me more. People will like me more if I sit with a laptop in a coffee shop and, maybe somebody will approach me and who knows, maybe that will be my ideal partner. You basically start visualizing some totally random stuff that you're basically trying to sell that idea to you that, oh, yeah, if I buy a MacBook, I can go to networking events and people see that I have a MacBook, so they will treat me differently or something, right? Maybe you're not visualizing that specifically. So another example could be, it's an investment. If I buy these clothes, they will last way longer because they're probably they're built from better materials. But the thing is, they still can be stained. You can still, just spill like ketchup on your clothes, and pretty much they will be cooked. And you would need to buy new ones, right? But you probably are also saying to yourself, oh, I need to look good because I need to impress other people, or I want convenience. I want to feel confident. And the last one is the most important one. Because the thing is, in language learning, usually people are literally paying for confidence. They want to become confident speaking to their friends in English, in Spanish, in French. They want to feel confident speaking to their boss, to their coworkers. They want to feel confident recording videos on YouTube in English, as an example. And these things, they're willing to pay $2,000 for them. So paying for a language is literally the same thing. It's confidence, it's convenience, it's looking good in front of the others, it's the first impression, it's the opportunities they get, it's the money they get, it's all these things. And it's not just about, fluent Spanish in 60 days. It's about that. It's about these things that they paint in their mind and that they obsess about. But of course, people also do pay for a better camera, they pay for a better operating system, for a better customer service, but that's not the thing that they imagine when they want to buy from you. They imagine the vacation, they imagine the fluency, the confidence. You'll provide both, actually. You'll provide the transformation, you'll provide the thing that they are obsessing about in their mind, but you're also providing an exceptional service as well. Because, I mean, for $2,000, you should be providing better customer service, right? So we charged higher prices, $1,000 to like $2,000 as well. So first of all, we started with $1,000, then we made it $2,000. And that was the majority of our income. Plus, we recently installed new offers as well. So we installed a $37 per month offer, which is a low ticket offer. It works because, some people, they cannot afford high prices. And we don't need to do sales calls for this offer specifically. And it's just kind of like passive sales pretty much. And then we also created a $100 per month continuity offer. And that's the offer that people get after they finish the 90-day transformation. And now let's actually talk about how you can deliver results to your clients, because you don't want to be just like a sleazy salesman or woman, and you actually want to give results to people. Your first intention should be to deliver amazing results. And so honesty always wins. We're not here to pressure people into buying English or Spanish course. With the system that I outlined before, you can literally make them want to purchase your course without even trying to sell them or pressure them into buying. And we're here to help people first and foremost. And so it would be wrong for me to just show you how much money I made for myself and my clients without showing the results that we've provided for our clients. Yeah, without showing the results that I've provided for my clients, and without showing the results that I've provided for my English learning clients as well, because I used to help people personally with their language learning. And so these thumbnails are entire interview videos, by the way. So they're available on my YouTube channel and on my client's YouTube channel as well. I'm gonna leave a link in the description. Right now, I just wanted to quickly run through these testimonials to show you what results we gave our students. So let's start with Arnaud. So Arnaud didn't speak English at all in the beginning, and now he is fearless with native speakers. He can speak with native speakers with confidence in 70 days. Then Sefher, she never spoke before. Her English level was like A2. Of course, it was A2 because she was just consuming content without speaking in English. Now she's speaking English every day. And then Anjali, she was afraid to even speak English alone by just recording herself on camera or just by speaking to her cactus. But now she speaks with native speakers, and they started to notice her progress in just 60 days. Owen, he went from a handful of conversations in English to 5 English calls per week. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, because I helped Ang went from having horrible accent in English to speaking English on interviews with big companies who want to hire him as a video editor, and he's recording content for his social media in English as well. Then Andrea, he was struggling. Nobody could understand him when he was trying to speak in English, but after 3 months of him working with me, he speaks fluently, and he started his own community and business in English. And then Roberto, he went from a quiet introvert with bad pronunciation to recording 10 plus videos in English and speaking online with confidence. And then also Alexandra and Emily. So Alexandra, she went from being afraid to jump on her first ever English call with me to hosting her own events in video editing community she's in, which is pretty crazy. And then Emily went from her first English call with me to jump in on sales calls with potential prospects and recording Loom videos to close them. And so she actually closed one of them at $1,800 with her fluent and confident English. And as you can see, these people, they get promotions they get money, they get travel opportunities, they get confidence, they get the things I was talking about before. They get these things I was talking about here. So this is not just some kind of like a wishy-washy thing. I'm not promising them something I can't deliver. I am delivering what I promise. And that's the most important thing. Really, if you want to create the best offer and if you want to give amazing results to your clients, it's all just about delivering and over delivering. Because in some of these cases, Alexandra and Emily, funny enough, they were working with me for free. I just jumped in a couple of calls with them for free. I gave them some advice and they wrote me these testimonials. And here's how you can actually make people happy. You need to make a good free and paid offer. If you make a good free offer, people will want to get your paid offer. And if you make a good paid offer, people want to continue paying. And when you do that, you want to over deliver on both. So here's how to do that in simple steps. So the first step, we're going to start, by the way, with the free offer, and then I'll talk about how to create a paid offer as well. The free offer is all just about creating your own community. First, you need to start with calls and polls. So you jump on calls for market research. You just do like 5 to 10 calls with your potential clients, or, we just your followers on your YouTube channel. What you want to do is you want to genuinely understand what they want. You're doing two jobs. First of all, you're building trust so you can sell later to them. And then you're also gathering valuable information about what they want, not just what you want to make, because there's a distinction between these two. If you just simply create stuff that you want to make, like I can give you an example of that. This community right here, that was just what I wanted to make. I didn't have any idea what my clients want. I never jumped on calls with them. And so I created this community. I was just like, oh, start speaking English today, guys. And then, $27 per month, nobody joined it. Okay. If you create something that you want and not something that people want, you will make something that nobody wants, pretty much. So, how do you create something that people want? By actually asking what they want and then just giving it to them. That's easy. So when I created that community, it was $27 per month, but then I made it free. And when I made it free, I started jumping on calls with people and I figured out what they actually want. And that's when I created my first coaching offer. And that's how I made my first real sale. And the way you gather information on calls is by asking 3 questions. First one is, what is your current situation? Second question, what do you struggle with right now when it comes to speaking a language? And the third one is, what do you want to achieve when it comes to speaking in that language? And then additional question is, what's going to change in your life when you achieve that? So when you ask these 4 questions and when you expand on them, when you ask them why, that's a good method. I think you've heard about it, which is called Socratic reasoning. So you ask why, until you get to the root of things. And you can also run polls. So you make a simple poll on your YouTube channel where you simply ask them, what kind of stuff would you like to see in my free community? Or what kind of stuff would you like to see in my free offer? Or what kind of stuff would you like to see in my course? And then you give them some examples. I would like to see grammar lessons. I would like to hear more about your story and how you became fluent. I would like to learn about the method. I would like to learn how I can become fluent in 95 days or something like this. So you give them some examples. The easiest way to create them, by the way, is just by putting some information about you, your ideal customer, into ChatGPT. Then ChatGPT can create polls for you. So then you can just put them on YouTube. Then, as you've gathered all of that information, when you have all this information, you create a community. And the best platform to start with could be Skool.com, or any other platform. Honestly, you can start with WAP, Discord, Telegram. It could be any platform, right? But the one I found works best for me is Skool, because on Skool you can create a community. You can also publish courses, and you can also run calls as well, because there's a calendar function. So you can do all 3 in one place, which is beautiful. Of course, you can do that on Discord, WAP, and other platforms, but it's a bit less intuitive. On Skool, it's just very simple. There's just like 3 different tabs, and you just click between them and you know where everything else. This is your free offer, and this is where you put valuable information, community, and personalized access to you in exchange for contact information, email, phone, chat, etc. So for example, you ask questions such as, what's your phone number with country code? What's your email? They give you that information, and now you're not only building your community, but you're also building your email list, and also you have an entire SMS list as well. So you can literally message all these people when you launch your paid offer. So you start on Skool.com or other platform, And then probably you're asking a question, what if I attract the wrong people who want free stuff, right? You create a free community and then people join, they're just like, I don't want to buy anything from you, I just want some free stuff. That's why qualification exists. Usually some people who want free stuff, they will never buy something paid from you, and that's just the case, and there is no way you cannot attract them. Of course you will attract them in any case. And oddly enough, when you schedule sales calls with people, sometimes they don't understand that it's a sales call and they thought it's like they're getting stuff for free. So it's crazy how that works. But you need to make sure that you're qualifying for the right person before they join the community. And this way you can eliminate 80% of tire kickers, or people who are not going to pay you anything. So this is a clear example. So there's just some dude who doesn't even have a profile picture, wrote something in a totally different language, not related to English, and he doesn't have a job, profession, or a business. The reason why we're asking that question is because, first of all, we want to qualify whether they have money, right? Of course, not every single person who doesn't have a job doesn't have money, but still, there is a correlation. And then we just in general target these people because we just want to work with people who are business people or entrepreneurs or professionals. That's our ICP, ideal customer profile. And then this is an example of a person that we do let inside the community. Are you employed full-time or running a business? Yes. This person provided everything as well. And then it doesn't have like a huge bio where she wrote something about her, but it doesn't matter as long as she has a name and a good solid profile picture. So as you can see, this person is real. We approve them and they can become our clients in the future. But these kinds of people probably they won't become our clients. That's why the qualification exists, and that's why you should use it. And then of course inside the community, keep the engagement active so that people are commenting, posting, and you're also commenting and posting. Then you can also launch a simple call every single week. So you're doing like a mini call where you're practicing speaking with people or you're giving them some advice, so that this way you're building trust with them and they're way more likely to buy from you further down the line. And funny enough, my clients, the ones I worked with personally, they joined my program only after they joined the free speaking call. I mean, of course, there is a correlation because people see you on these calls. They trust you more because they see you in almost in person. And as a result, they are way more likely to buy from you. Now you can put all of that information together to create a course. The information that you've gathered from the calls, the information that you've gathered from your potential clients and maybe your clients, because maybe you already try to sell to some people in the past and you pretty much already understand what kind of person you're targeting. And when you create that free value, it builds even more trust. And this course is basically a video sales letter. The thing is, if you don't want to create a course, what you can do is you can just get that video sales letter from your YouTube channel and just put it inside the community in the classroom. And that's pretty much it. You don't need to like spin the wheels and create a new course and stuff. But of course, the more content you have, the easier it is for you to convert people because they trust you more. And we will talk about that in just a couple of minutes as well, in more detail. But the thing is, a lot of language creators, they think it takes months to build a course. Well, let me break this limiting belief for you, because right now, we're living in the era of AI in 2026, and I literally just set up automations in Claude that generate outlines for language courses in my voice in minutes, okay? What I do is I feed the information about my client avatar into Claude. I feed all of the information about my YouTube channel, about what I do. I feed all of the information about my story, about my life. I feed all of the information about my videos. I send it video transcripts. Then I also feed information about my offer inside of Claude as well. And what it does is it basically compiles course outlines. And then the job for me is to just fill in the gaps. Of course, I still do spend a lot of time building out these courses, but I spent hours instead of weeks in order to build these courses, okay? And these are like 1 to 5 hours long. And it takes me hours instead of weeks. And so that's about the free offer. When you create this will help you convert people into paid clients way better. And when you create that free offer, the next step would be to create a paid offer. Let's actually talk about how we can create a paid offer, because with the free offer, we can convert people into the paid offer. And now we actually need to deliver results for people in the paid offer as well and make it extremely valuable so people actually want to buy it. We can do a little breakdown of your offer/product right now. And really, there are four components: calls, community, course, and deliverables. So as you can see, the same stuff that we have inside of the free offer, which is calls, community, course, and deliverables, but packaged in a paid offer, it's way more premium, and people, of course, get way more stuff, just like with a closed subscription. So first you get calls, one-to-one calls. It could be one-to-one calls, it could be group calls, it could be webinars. You choose for your offer. Of course, it's better to do one-on-one calls if the price is like $2,000, right? Then community. So 90-day fluency challenge, speaking challenge, support, that kind of stuff that you can have inside the community, instead of like a separate premium community, or you can just merge it with the free community and just say that that people will get some kind of support, or group calls within the community that are more private. And that's kind of like a separate community inside the community. And then you can also offer them courses, which is some kind of like a roadmap course that helps them go from where they are at now to fluency, then pre-recorded trainings, and also call recordings of the previous calls, of the previous coaching calls that you had with your students. And then deliverables such as checklists, documents, reports, PDFs. This is the stuff that people actually love, and you can package them as bonuses in the offer. And I would absolutely love to show you the full structure that we have for our offer. But for privacy concerns, cannot just show you this offer here on YouTube, because I mean, that would kind of be unfair that, I just show the offer of my client, and then everybody just starts copying this offer, and then everybody does pretty much the same thing, market saturates, and as a result of that, nobody makes money. What you can do is you can DM me on Instagram, the word growth, and I will send you a free 1-hour breakdown of what I did to create an offer. So this was just like a simple summary, how you can create an offer. But here I will break down specifically what you can do as a language learning creator to create an amazing offer for your students. So again, DM me on Instagram, the word growth, and I will send it to you. And this is just the first present that I'm giving to you in this video. Later, I'm gonna give you another present which will blow your mind. But now let's actually talk about trust, because trust is gasoline. And when you pair trust with hundreds of thousands of views, you make infinite money. What I mean by that is, right now you have a lot of views, but the thing is, these views, they don't trust you that much. And so if you try to sell them something, if you slap them an offer in their face, they will be like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to buy from you, But if you spend a couple of hours with them building trust, they are way more likely to soften and buy something from you. So a lot of entrepreneurs, they use this buzzword and it's pretty vague. How do you measure trust? That's the real question. So the company that owns this entire website you're watching this video on right now, called Google, and the website is called YouTube, discovered this rule. So they discovered the rule called 7-11-4. So before a customer buys, they need to consume 7 hours of content from you. They need to have 11 interactions with your brand, which is like 11 pieces of content pretty much. And then they need to consume your content from 4 different touch points. So it could be Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and email, or going on a call with you. That's another touch point. So literally before people buy from you, they need to have this, okay? If they don't have this, guess what? You're cooked and they're not buying from you. And that's the reason why it's so hard for you to sell your $27 per month community, because you didn't build enough trust with them. And you have about 50,000 to 200,000 subscribers on YouTube right now, and about 1 million to 10 million views. But the real reason why these views aren't converting well is simply because they watched less than 1 hour of lessons from you. Not only Google backs up this trust metric, because we had the same experience when we were building our community as well, which is what we did is we measured our sales call close rate. And so 90% of sales calls that did not close, they did not close simply because prospects who were on these sales calls watched less than 2 hours of content from Joao. And so it was not because they wanted to talk to their wife or hubby. It was not because they didn't have money. It was not because they didn't have time for it. It was simply because they did not trust us enough. Because if they trusted us and if they loved us, they would never say no. They would probably say yes, because they know us, because they trust us already. And imagine you go on multiple dates with a person and you spend 7 hours with that person. I'm pretty sure by the hour 7, you will fall in love with that person. So it's the same thing here. The hidden objection was not that, they didn't have money or they wanted to talk to somebody. It was not because, oh, I don't make decisions on the spot. It was because they lacked trust. They didn't trust us enough. And this was the main reason why they didn't buy. And we literally asked this specific question, which is, how many hours of content did you watch from Joao? And people who said less than 2 hours, well, they did not close. How do we fix this problem? What we did specifically in our community is we added new social media channels like community, like a school community, Instagram. Later, we started hopping on calls with people. So we had calls, YouTube, community, Instagram, and that was already 4 different channels, as you can see. 4 different touch points. Then we created a sequence of podcasts. So 1 to 3 hour long videos. And on these podcasts, we talked about language learning, about Joao's story, about his learning method, how he helps people, how many people he helped already. And so all these things, they built a lot of trust with people. And, conveniently, I know a lot about language learning, so it was very easy for me to do a podcast with Joao. And then Joao also recorded 2 to 5 hour full guides, breakdowns, courses for his community, for his YouTube channel, which I scripted for him. And then at that point, we pretty much had more than 7 hours of content, 3 long podcasts plus long 1 to 5 hour guides. Also 11 different interactions inside the community on calls, videos, short form videos on Instagram as well. And then 4 different channels, which is YouTube, school, Instagram, call. So as you can see, this is not about making viral videos that blow up. It's about making videos that build trust hour by hour. And I can give you some examples here as well. So these are some of our videos as well. We have an entire course inside the community, which is like 2 or 3 hours long. Then you can see this guy right here, Spanish with Curo Paul. He made an entire course on Spanish as well. Then this podcast right here with Veronica Mark, Lingua Marina, she made a bunch of videos that are like 1, 2, 3 hours long, where she teaches people how to speak English. She practices speaking English with them as well. And this way, you can build trust with people. There are so many different ways. It doesn't have to be a podcast, it doesn't have to be a VSL. It could be a speaking practice, right? Or a grammar lesson. It could be anything. Just be creative. I'm pretty sure you're extremely creative, and you will figure this out. And this is my present for you. If you're a language learning creator, maybe you're teaching Spanish, English, or other language with at least 50,000 subscribers, and you struggle with monetizing your audience, and maybe you're just a bit burned out from doing all of that, from creating all this content or jumping on all these calls with people, having no free time, I offer you a free growth call. On this call, I will personalize this entire system I was talking about in this video for you. I will show you how you can structure your entire community, your free offer, your paid offer, and content. And then I give you an entire launch plan so you can execute and get results just like us. So just DM me the word growth on Instagram if you want to be the one who gets results. And yes, this is not a sales call. Even if you want to give me money on this call, I will not accept a single dollar because, like I said, this is a present. So you will leave this call with an entire system for free. And of course, if you want me to execute it and save months of your time, I can also explain how I can do that too. Basically do everything for you. So if you're ready to help more people and increase your revenue, DM me growth on Instagram. Can't wait to see you on the call.